Hey guys, welcome back to Reverse 1999. So we got patch 1.2 on global, about 3.5 days away at the time of recording this. And I want to go through the tier list that Pride have just updated, and also go through just some other things that are coming. So when we look at the actual schedule, we did get announced yesterday over on their Twitter, I saw, that we've got the Voyager banner coming. So for those that thought they missed it, we do have the Voyager banner that's going to be available. So if you were looking at Voyager, me personally, I'm not, but it is there to be had if you want it. But then in 3 days and 15 hours, we've got the patch 1.2 with the Tooth Fairy, which I obviously will be summoning on. And then 24 days away, we've got Jessica, formerly known as Changeling. So that's what we got coming up. The tier list, we'll take a look. It's based off of what we get from Limbo, essentially is what we're looking at. And obviously in patch 1.1 with the Melania banner, everything was focusing around beasts and single target damage and basically just focusing around making Melania shine. Now we don't have that the beast advantage anymore. It's still be usable on one side, of course, where you're neutral, but we are looking more at the star, mineral, and plant elements as shining. So let's take a look at this. It's fairly self-explanatory when we look at what the patch is making advantage of when we look at this. So the one I'm curious on is Druvis. I didn't know if Druvis might go up a bit, but I guess we are at the point now where we're trying to put out more damage as opposed to focus on the control. In that first, at launch, Druvis was absolutely OP, but now I guess she's just falling down that tiny little bit just because, you know, she doesn't have the damage output of some of these other units. So let's go through it. Obviously, Eternity, anytime Mineral is at advantage, Eternity is going to be great. She's got the ability to solo stages. She's just an all-round, just reliable unit. I don't think she's like the greatest as we look further into the game, because those units that are normally self-sustaining, when they can't cheese, then they don't have the damage output because they're sacrificing some for that. But in general, Eternity's a massive unit. Then we have Jessica, the Changeling. Now, with her coming in 1.2, this is obviously during her patch. And when we look at Sotheby up here in the tier list into the S tier, I think that's going to be more conditional on the fact that once Changeling comes in, which is on the second banner of the patch, because that's when Sotheby is really going to shine, when she has Changeling in the team, or Jessica, sorry, I'm going to have to take some getting used to on the Jessica thing. But once Jessica comes in, then, you know, Sotheby has her true time to shine. Then we have Lilia and Regulus going up, basically just because Star is being advantaged in this one. Both of them also being crit-based characters, getting a buff with the introduction of Tooth Fairy, who is also a Star character. So Tooth Fairy has the synergy with these two, both in elements and also in crit capacity, because Tooth Fairy is going to be buffing your crit damage dealers. So really, really solid in that one. And that's really why these two go up. They both get a big advantage in not only element, but also a support coming to the game. Then we go through this one. The first three are pretty self-explanatory. Anytime that plant is going to be basically good, you're normally looking at Beacorn being a good unit. Then we've got Ann Lee and Pickles, who are pretty much just always going to be good units, whether or not they're advantaged. And if they do have the advantage, they're just going to be even better, essentially. So these two units just basically sitting in that S tier pretty comfortably, and that's about it. For me personally, my Pickles is at Insight 3, Resonate 9, and I'm just basically chilling at the moment, waiting for Tooth Fairy to come out. But yeah, those three just all-round solid units. Beacorn, the other thing with Beacorn is it's reality damage focused, which the only mental one in the top tier of damage dealers is going to be Regulus, so the rest are reality. So Beacorn having that good synergy with these units as well, and obviously with Jessica when she comes, and the Sotheby combo. Then obviously we go into the healers. We got Med Pocket, we got Tooth Fairy, the two best healers in the game, and that's pretty much sums up those two units. Tooth Fairy is going to be a huge one on the banner. I think there's going to be a ton of people pulling for the Tooth Fairy, but yeah, that's pretty much two staples. And then, like I mentioned, Sotheby, anytime the plant meta is in and Changeling / Jessica is up there, then you're just going to see Sotheby up in the top tiers. As we move into that lower tier of A tiers, We do get A Knight once again. A Knight's just going to sit around that A tier until he gets the Psy Cube, which makes him an absolute beast. But he's just an all-round solid unit. There's no situation in which he's bad. He's got good Moxie regeneration. He's got really good damage, and just an all-round good unit. But being a spirit unit means he doesn't gain the advantage in any of these rotations. So he's always at a neutral point until in 1.4 when we get that Psy Cube, where he basically becomes kind of like he has advantage all the time. Then obviously Centurion, same reason as Melania. Beast had its time in the sun to shine, and now they're like, okay, we've got you all to pull Melania. Now it's time to bench her and get you guys to pull the next units coming up. Is essentially what they do. Every game does it. It's just a rotation. I am still going to dominate with my Melania. Don't you guys worry about it. So that is that one. And like I said, Centurion just falling into that weak element path, but Centurion just an all-round fantastic unit still. Now Charlie is sitting down here in the A tier. Star is going to be at an advantage in this one, but we do have Lilia and Regulus ahead of Charlie. Keep in mind with that Charlie, if you do get the 3 dupes into her, she does become a lot stronger because she can proc her extra damage more often, but just an all-round great 5-star unit anyway to go ahead and take in. Sonetto, pretty self-explanatory. I think there's still a ton of people using Sonetto out there, especially if you didn't pull Pickles and you haven't had any luck with Anley or Voyager. A lot of people probably just there using Beacorn and Sonetto as well. Then we've got X coming in. X is one of those ones. I think X is a fantastic situational unit when you need that control. And he's just one of those ones where I feel like he's just a great tech pick if you haven't pulled any of the other beastie support units. For me, you know, I've got Anley on both accounts. I got Pickles. I got Beacorn. I'm kind of set up. I don't really need that unit, and I've already got Sonetto built on one of my accounts as well, so I don't use him too much, but I do like him in theory. I just haven't got around to putting the investment into the boy. And then we go into the A tier of supports, into the healers, and that is going to be Balloon Party and DK. I think in this patch, Balloon Party is probably going to be like a half a tier above DK, but in general, those are the remaining 2 healer spots that you can look to. As we go past that, I never stress too much about these tiers. Essentially, we got Blunny, dude, I always say Bloody, coming into the game, but nothing too crazy on that one. Pavia, he's dropped down a tier because he was up last time due to the advantages of Beast. Now he's back into his B tier. Rabies goes up, or Rabies, dude, I don't even know how I'm supposed to, anyway. Yeah, he goes up because poison and, you know, a substitute type poison unit that you can slot in there, and the rest of them are just pretty much standard stuff that we've seen. Good units, tech situationally very useful, but not in those top tiers. I think the game mostly revolves around these top 2 tiers, and then people will tech in, you know, select options down here in their teams when they really need to find a unit to fill in a slot to get some stuff done. So that is what we're looking at for the global 1.2 tier list. Once again, based on the kind of content we're going to have and the enemies we're going to have in it, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to Tooth Fairy summons. Hoping I can nail the Tooth Fairy on my Melania account. I got the P2 Melania. I got the Pickles. If I can nail that Tooth Fairy as well, and then just save and ignore Jessica, probably ignore the following patch, and then just really save up, I'd be pretty happy. I'm kind of hanging out for 1.5 in the Australia patch already, but that's pretty much all we got for the tier list, guys. Like I said, stuff coming up. We got the Voyager banner in 1 day, 10 hours. We got the patch 1.2 in 3 days, 15 hours. And then we've just got another 24 days until the Jessica/Changeling banner, if that's what you guys are waiting for. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.